I'm sorry. I didn't mean
Ouch.
that to get loud. Sorry.
It just actually feels good.
Ouch.
Well, that's a great way to start this, a rape joke.
Ouch. Don't hurt right now.
It's not like we're talking about it. Let's just not talk about my life. No, fuck.
Come on. We're not even 30 seconds in. We're not even 30 seconds in.
Hey, I am a day away from being able to celebrate a week of being single. Leave me alone.
Now you just broken me.
Oh, as of
Podcast
tomorrow.
over. See you guys later.
God damn it.
Episode then, guys. All right then.
Episode 15. Didn't make it to a clear episode 20. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Three Nerd Podcasts. I am ArticJay. That loud noise, I think, came from Lazrpo.
Sorry.
Objection!
Overruled.
You forgot to introduce me.
And then as Phoenix Wright, we have R-GamerDoesRandom.
Yes. Does that mean that R-Gamer does it right?
Exactly. That's why I have all the evidence in my cards.
So
My trump cards.
no, oh my gosh, no. No.
Oh yeah.
There's no camera to care.
Oh, yeah.
Giggity,
Oh
giggity.
yeah.
No, so I guess you want to start with your weird fact of the day thing, or
Yeah, I managed to struggle it out a bit, but I'm not sure if it's actually too dark or too hilarious, but whatever, so I'm just gonna throw it out. So,
black
in this day... It's not a black joke, but it's definitely taking place at the dark times, aka the medieval.
Oh, okay,
This
the Dark Ages.
That's how black it is.
Oh,
This day in history, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever gotten a chance looking back into history, and I mean way back, because apparently the medieval age has a pretty complicated history as fudge if you don't study it as much, which is probably boring out the fudge out of a lot of people. Finally, I found out one interesting fact about the medieval age, and turns out that most of the medieval age era is more likely like a soap opera the more you think about it. Do you actually now? What I'm actually getting to specifically is King Henry, I think the Sixth, and he had a huge soap opera with having I can't remember how many wives. I think it was like almost near 10 wives the guy had.
No,
It was
productive.
very dramatic. Yeah, he was the most productive, most dramatic person ever. That he could even surpass the people at Jersey Shores.
well, hey, I'm on my way to catching up.
So now leads to the question: what is your opinion about the situation at hand?
Left or right?
Well, he sounds like he was a pretty busy fellow.
I mean, he wanted kids.
I mean, whenever
Actually, that was the whole reason.
Yeah, he wanted kids.
just wanted kids for days.
Yeah, kids for days. Welcome to the comment. Well, welcome to the comments. Welcome to the chat. Tricky. I just looked over and saw Tricky was there.
Ah, Tricky. Damn it! You remind me. I need to actually get on YouTube and get to the chat. Now that I can do that.
Since Tricky's not streaming anymore. What was the final count on deaths? I didn't catch it all. Sorry. He was playing permadeath mode on No Man's Sky. I should preface that.
With one of the topics
really
we're talking about right
makes
now. Oh.
Fuck. Let's go ahead and talk about.
Hey, you did the first one again.
Yeah, I know. I'm good at that. Oh, 2 each? Okay, 4 in total. Cool. That's not terrible. That's like better than I did on when I was trying to do the walk on survival. So I guess do we want to start out dark?
Well, first of all, before you start out and depress everybody, I would just like to say my apologies for being so late today. Because here's the situation. Today I thought that I was going to have to pick up Jay's daughter from school. So what I normally do is I run over to Jay's house, and then I grab somebody who's capable of actually getting someone so I can get Allie, and like bring everyone back and everything's hunky-dory. Well, what happened was not only did I get the date wrong, like the day wrong, but I got the entire month wrong. So I interrupted Jay's stream and hung out over there for a few hours. And I'm like, okay, Jay, I'm going to see you in a few minutes. I'm going to just go over to Radio Shack because the one by us is closing. If nobody knew, like you don't even know where we are. And I would be right back home. Well, I stopped to get something to eat. Went to Burger King, ordered a veggie burger because I don't eat meat. Find out like 15 minutes later they don't have them. So I go to Denny's. 10-15 minutes later, I grab it, open it in my car, and it turns out that it wasn't a veggie burger at all. It was meat. And so then I had to make another one for me. So I am blissfully here, 50 minutes late. At least. Purely because of a veggie burger.
Don't worry, that's going to be my life tomorrow because I'm going to Denny's with I'm going to Denny's tomorrow with Allie and the ex. So that's going to be my morning tomorrow. So let's see how badly they get me tomorrow.
Well, you better frickin' double check, because I didn't double check, and I got bit in the ass for it. So just my apologies, because this stuff was supposed to start a while ago, and well, it didn't.
You should have sued the people who ordered you the wrong stuff. Then I would have actually came in and became a prosecuting attorney for you guys. I would have been able to sweep the floor just like that.
Oh, I think I'm able to. I've had to defend myself a few times at that restaurant. So it'd be nice to get some backup. I have stories for whenever the time arises, I guess.
Okay. I've been too addicted with Phoenix Wright, by the way.
It's not possible to be too addicted to Phoenix Wright.
Yeah, I mean, you could always be, too addicted.
Phoenix wrong, yeah.
Yeah. I fuck you.
Hey, it's number 2.
Yeah, we're barely into this thing, and I've already dropped 2. We're off to a good start. We're off to a great start.
Start.
Oh, fuck it.
Got files on top of files.
Yeah. 15-year-old French girl.
Stop talking about Pyrocynical.
He doesn't deserve a platform to defend himself.
Stop talking about PewDiePie.
Big memes. That's no 15-year-old French girl. But anyway, let's get to the first topic.
I'd be Pyro's 15-year-old French girl.
It's really
Okay.
strange. It's really strange. It's too strange.
Oh, snap.
So there was a terror attack in London, and so let's go ahead and read that title out loud while we're still coming down from laughing. That way, it sounds overly offensive.
It's
There was
still
a
not
ter-
as bad as a few
Yeah,
of
and
them.
if we can,
I can open up. The
and if
sound
only we
effects.
could stay serious enough to getting through this.
I will try and stay more serious than satellite radio. So there was a terror attack in London today at the streaming of the cast. Oh yeah, Tricky's son was in London today, right by the incident. So yeah, that's how I found out was Tricky was in the stream, and he actually posted the link to the live stream newscast of what was going on. So I got to catch a lot of it live. Which thank you, Tricky, for sending that, and I'm glad that you, as from everything I'm seeing, your son's okay. Good job. I'm glad. Basically what happened was a vehicle started mowing through pedestrians near British Parliament, before basically it crashed into the fence at Parliament, and then he got out of the vehicle and stabbed a police officer before he was finally shot by police.
Holy
Yeah, and I
shit.
also sent it the link of the entire schematics of
the map,
the part,
yeah.
the map pretty much, and it also has some pretty simple yet
Yeah.
general details of what happened.
Yeah.
Which
But
the first one, which
yeah, he was mowing people down coming across the bridge and everything.
yeah, the bridge first,
Crashed
and then he
against the
ran
fences. Yeah.
attacked the police around the Parliament compound. Finally, he did got shot just pretty much around the compound. No normal attack. It was a pretty crazy one.
Yeah, it was a low. That's the whole thing. Like they're pointing out the fact it was such a low tech attack because pretty much it was a knife in a car.
Yeah, it almost seems pretty spontaneous.
Yeah. So yeah, there have been about. Last I heard a few hours ago, just before the stream, was they had closed the underground trains and buses, evacuating the area, looking for a second person. So there's a potential for a second person. I know the last I heard, they didn't think that there was a second, but there still could be. So I guess they're taking the precautions. Only briefly heard
Security's
before heading
tight.
off, so I don't know. I know that there were at least there was between 20 and 40 people injured and 4 dead.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just we don't know a lot about the person who did this. We don't know a lot about anything that's going on with this. It's terrible. The whole thing is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So now this leads to
Go ahead.
this big question: was the identification of the attacker? I don't know. I really want to know what his deal was.
Well, it actually, knowing who the guy would be, like, or who he is, would really bring in a lot of information, because this is actually on the year anniversary of the Brussels attack.
Yeah.
So that alone raises a lot of suspicion.
And as Tricky says, and I completely agree, Tricky says it's just horrible. What is this world coming to? And it's terrible because this is just it, and it's so recent. It has happened so recently, as of this stream, as of this cast, that
Mm-hmm.
we don't have, we're slowly. You go to one news outlet and they say there's 3 people dead. You go to another one and it says 5 people dead. nobody knows anything for sure, and they're trying to get numbers out. They're trying to get everything figured out. And it's just like, what can you... There's lots of people who are injured, and given the fact that several of them were mowed down because he drove down the sidewalk, there's no amount of time before, you don't know how long before you find out if anyone else who was injured might end up dying from injuries. I've lost a friend days after an incident due to injuries because they didn't think that they were that bad, and it turns out they were internal damages.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be days before we have a final count, and that alone is terrible. I'm trying to go through and see if I can find a name, an ethnicity, anything behind them, but it's going to be days before we have motive. It's going to be days before we have anything. But similar tactics have been used before, and we'll probably have similar tactics in the future being used.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2013, they've done. It happened. It's happened. It happened just last year, didn't it? With the with that truck or whatever. And it's terrible. It's just so stupid. But at the same point in time, when you think about this is a terror. This is pretty much classified as a terror attack. And so the one thing you've got to remember is a terror attack is meant to instill fear. It's meant to instill terror. So the only thing you can do for people in that area, people everywhere, the only thing you can do is you can be sad, you can be mournful, but don't be scared because that's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Which is terrible because, they're going to do whatever they want to scare you. It's 5 dead now. And it's okay. So according to Tricky, it's up to 5 dead. And see, that's what I was talking about. Is anything could happen. It's been released on Facebook, but how reliable is that? Is anyone's guess? Yeah. I'm gonna say that probably keep an eye out over the next day, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Just trying to keep an eye out to see what information does or does not arise, what we can and can't find out, what the total thing is, because even now, just going to the news tabs and trying to read the news about this and trying to figure everything out, at least 1 person dead, at least 3 dead, at least 4 dead, at least, I'm reading all of these. These are all different headlines over the last couple hours. It's going to be a couple days before everyone has all the same information and it all paddles out. More from Tricky. Sure as hell managed that for me today, and I'm 50 minutes away from London. But with my boy being there, that just added a whole new level of fear for me. As a parent myself, the thought of my child being in or near an incident like that would destroy me. So I can have nothing but the utmost sympathy because I can just imagine the up until you get the all clear that your kid's okay and getting your kid coming home. That's got to be constant level of anxiety, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Does anyone have any sense to add? I'm done reading articles on this one.
No. You did mention that the information itself is actually very sporadic right now. And unfortunately, with that, we can't really make many statements or conclusions about anything that's being said right now. Because even with as little as we know, or even as much as we know, I guess, even at its highest amount of information, we don't know much at all until we finally start reaching some points with all of this where we have definite information.
Yeah.
But right now I'm cruising through Reddit trying to see if I can't find anything about it.
I definitely say, pray for London. Pray for London. Keep London in your thoughts. Keep anyone affected by this in your thoughts. Keep up on the news.
Mm-hmm. See it.
And one more thing from Tricky, and that's thank you so much. Thank you so much, MI. You guys really helped me keep my sanity earlier. So thank you again so much for that. Hey, as I said, trust me, if my daughter was in that situation, I would be flipping out. The closest I've had to an issue with that was when the ex decided that she didn't know how to drive and ended up upside down and freaking out about her safety up until everything was over. So, and that's the worst I've had. And I just realizing that that's over, just that, imagining just the constant state of not knowing for that, just no, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Up until the answers are all known for anyone who had loved ones who are there and they don't know anyone's state, or for loved ones who are now in the hospital, that's got to be hell.
There can't even be a comparison.
I lost family in the one in France earlier last year.
Really?
Yeah, the was that one with the truck or whatever? Oh, frick, I'd have to look that one up. But yeah, I lost family in that. Grandma, it was one of Grandma's cousins.
You mean the one that's in Nice?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, Nice.
I couldn't remember the one off the top of my head, but yeah, that one. Him and his son were both killed in that one. So, I'm more cross with schools for not contacting any parents to tell them our kids were safe. That is terrible that the schools didn't do that.
What?
Holy cow. That's like the first
insane.
That's like the first thing you do. Take roll call and then just say, "Hey, parents, you don't need to freak out. We have everybody."
That's a disturbing move on their part. That wouldn't even be that wouldn't even be an option here in the States, because we have so many guidelines on that. The news would be all over it.
Because it would have saved so much worry about whether or not our kids were all right. And when it was announced on news that school kids were hurt, that's when I flipped. Not a whisper from them at all. But that's just bullshit. That's just bullshit.
It's crazy.
All right.
I mean, there's not really much to say at this point. It's just, it's developing at such a slow pace right now that it's going to be a little bit more time before we even get more information, it seems.
Yeah. I will try and keep updated. I'm going to try and keep updated, try and keep an eye out on everything myself, and I might throw stuff up on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I might talk some about this on my other channel. I might just forego what I was going to talk about and talk about terror instead. I don't know if I can get something worked up tomorrow between today and tomorrow. Just because.
Sounds fair. I mean, it's, we were all watching the news. I found out from my grandmother. Tricky says.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's terrible. Well, condolences to the people who lost family members. My prayers are with those of you who have family members in the hospital, and my deepest my deepest thanks to those who didn't lose. I guess for like Tricky, who managed to come. Yeah, you get what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, essentially, just like from the Three Nerds podcast to all of like those affected, our prayers and thoughts are with you, because this is complete insanity and very very traumatic.
So I guess now on to something slightly less.
Well, how do we go up from here? There were 2 deaths this week, celebrity wise.
This is not how you go up.
It's quite a bit up. I mean, they both passed away from old age. Their lives weren't taken super fast.
Okay, you can go ahead then.
Maybe I should have kept my mouth shut. Okay, so this week we managed to lose 2 pretty big celebrities here. Oddly enough, with very similar names. We managed to lose guitar and rock legend, and I don't know. We can crack some jokes about him because he has a pretty scandalous existence. But Chuck Berry passed away, and also, I think it happened today. It's on that trending tab. No, it happened yesterday. A gentleman, the creator of such hits as The Gong Show, The Dating Game, The Newlywed Game, all game shows, Chuck Barris died.
Wow.
So, first of all, if your name is Chuck, I think you should probably be worried. But see, like I said, I can at least get some interest, like some humor in this. But I don't know much about Chuck Barris.
But we all know about a guy named Chuck Norris, right?
No one
indeed.
He's gonna live forever strictly because the Grim Reaper is scared of him.
Mm-hmm. But Chuck Berry, Chuck Berry. One of the reasons why he's remembered is because he had a restaurant. Let's see here. Berry restaurant.
If I remember,
he had a restaurant.
It was in Wentzville or St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, it was in Wentzville, the Southern Air restaurant, which is like right off the edge of Wentzville, like the highway in Wentzville. It's still there, by the way. You can visit it, but it's not really open. But Chuck Berry owned that restaurant, and the most popular thing that went on in that restaurant was the use of hidden cameras in the female's restroom and the discovery of copious amounts of underage pornography being filmed at that site. So, obviously it's not operating anymore, but if you're willing to avoid that, at least you can look at him and his legacy. He was responsible for Maybelline, Roller Beethoven, All Johnny Be Good, rock and roll music. He was an innovator and is seen as one of the original rockers. An inspiration to many, such as all the members of the Beatles. I would almost say maybe even like more modern musicians like Green Day's Billy Joe Armstrong. It was a big loss, but it was still a very it's very love-hate for me when it comes to the scandals that were involved.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was that subject.
Yeah. That was.
I mean, I don't know what R listens to, but I know that you, Jay, do not partake in 50s and 60s rock music.
Besides screaming in the fires of alleyway down. No, wait, that's like 60s, 70s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah, it occurred since music started being recorded. I don't know. There's not really much to say about Chuck Berry other than, well, I'll kind of miss him. He was a pretty big rock. Actually, there is a fun fact about Chuck Berry. He apparently did still live in Wentzville.
Huh.
You know, which is interesting in its own right, seeing as he's a multimillionaire that did virtually nothing but make money for a good 40, 50 years. My dad actually was his pool boy for a significant amount of time, and he took me up there one day when Chuck Berry was not actually there. So it was a pretty interesting experience that. But you know, Chuck Berry, one of the most influential people in rock music, and essentially the reason why music sounds like it does today. You will be missed.
Yeah. All right, R, you have something before we.
I'm not even gonna ask questions. Just keep going.
What?
What in the
Oh,
world did you
right.
send me?
You ought to know that it's always going to be weird. Always.
Well, a couple of topics, but right now, I'm just actually having stupid thinking process right now. But anyways, yeah, I'll throw that out of the way and getting into my topic. So anyways, I finally have or the reviews has already been published on the video game, which we've already been talking about for quite a while. The Legend of Zelda. Gosh, I just forgot the title. It was
Breath of the Wild.
Yes, Breath of the Wild. Thank you. And so far, they've actually, most of the game reviewers has given it a pretty positive review, a really good one, as they actually say that it is just as good as Ocarina of Time.
Seems fair.
And so the only difference that they've ended up explaining between Zelda and the rest of it is that for the first time ever is that they actually included voice acting for the first time in the series.
Oh yeah, I actually seen that. And to my surprise, it's actually a pretty good use of the voice acting too.
Nice.
And on top of that, I mean, you've I'm not entirely sure, but for the first time, they not even thinking about this right now. Right now, but anyways, point of the matter is, this is the other different part of the game that differs from the rest of it. Is for the first time you can be able to customize Link with whatever appearance, armor, and weapon you can give him, and they say they do. They finally do admit that it is an RPG styled Legend of Zelda that according to the game reviews.
Oh yeah, now that you mentioned it, I remember I was watching the Game Grumps play it, and I guess I never realized it. There is actually like a really wide variety of like clothing styles and like different appearances that you can get through this game.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and on top of that, you can be able to. It's a much. Apparently, I believe the map is like really much more bigger than any other Legend of Zelda games. Therefore, it's actually admitted as an open world RPG adventure, where apparently you do actually. There's tons of more, like a bunch of more dungeons there, and they've actually brought back. They did brought back the puzzles though, and apparently people act. And according to the game reviews, it's actually pretty good. And on top of that, as far as I've actually heard for transportation, definitely RPG because you can be able to choose from either having a horse or you can actually just slide. You can pretty much slide around the land using your own shield or using a glider, like variety of ways to traveling around the open world apparently.
Well, that's pretty cool. It because it does have that whole like idea that if you see it, you can actually go there, right?
And one hilarious fact is that you do have an option once you start playing the game to just cut straight into the final boss fight. One out just cause.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Let's get right into the boss fight.
Yep, you can pretty much get the final boss if you want to.
And our first death of this game is
Yeah, that's why I was getting to the point.
use code link for,
If you're ready to facing him at level 1, be my guest.
Level 1, no clothes, and you're beating him with a stick and a glass bottle.
Yep.
Do I get to pick which stick I use? That could really surprise him.
Well, it's an RPG game, so why not?
Slap him with that disco stick.
I mean, the only catch is that, according to the game reviews, is that the only problem with the game is that apparently your weapons break very easily.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I was watching Leviathan, the Leviathan Levi play it, and yeah, his was constantly. I think in the bit of time that I watched him play, he broke 5 or 6 weapons, and I was only over there for like 2 hours.
Well,
Yep,
I
that's
guess
pretty much.
I guess that does tie in with the whole RPG element, though.
Yeah.
So you're not walking around with this infinite sword, so you never have to get anything else.
Well,
It would made sense if you could at least repair your weapon. That would make a lot more sense.
Well, it also leads into like you go in to do a fight and you stop and you pause the game and you're going through trying to figure out which weapon you want to use. And it's like, okay, I want to use this axe that does 63 damage. Boom, boom, boom. Shit, my axe broke. All right, let's go and use this sword that does, and you can go through, and there's also times where you'll tailor the weapon to the situation or go like, well, this doesn't need a whole lot of damage. Let's not wear down something that's big. Let's use a 20 damage weapon to hit something because we're not going to need the 60 damage weapon, so why tear up its durability?
Mm-hmm.
There seems to be a lot more thought in the gameplay for people willing to utilize brain cells.
Oh, true.
What are those?
What are those?
Maybe I would remember what brain cells were if I would have actually eaten more omega-3s in my diet whenever I had a chance.
I do have with the game is the main bad guy, because I really do think that they just barely give any info, even though everyone should already know who Ganon is. I just really think that they really barely did anything, to be honest. Like, the only thing you only see is just him being a cloud.
Well, he just keeps farting out those clouds.
He must be eating too much beans.
High fiber diets call for high fiber measures. He just wants to gas Link out of the entirety of Hyrule.
Yo, pretty much. But yeah, that's my topic.
Well, it's quite the topic. Now you have me looking at pictures of Ganondorf to see if I can't find him as a fart cloud.
Pretty smoking dirty cloud.
Wow.
Wow!
That's
Dirty, ain't it?
huh. You found one?
No, no, I haven't yet. You can't. I'm not going to show you guys what I found.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those things.
So, ow. I guess my next thing was going to be a brief discussion. I plan on going into higher detail in a couple possibly days / weeks on my other channel, just so once I can get enough laid out for it. I mean, I could probably do it without a script today, but I want to try and make it as good as possible. So we're going to go ahead and discuss this here, and it's I know that the great and powerful Lazrpo probably has some stuff to add into this. So let's go ahead and get this, and let's see how much he can add without becoming a raving angry lunatic.
Don't even. Let's go.
Huh?
Don't even. Okay, let's go.
Okay. So I had a discussion with someone who doesn't know economics. And that starting point is the easiest starting point to go from, is they don't understand economics. They were stating the fact, well, why can't we just have free insurance just in general? And, okay, we can argue this one, we can figure this one out. We can actually come up with a way to make universal health coverage. But he was trying to say that insurance companies are a scam, that they're basically stealing from people. Well, like, he doesn't understand how they have to pay anything.
Does he listen to this podcast?
I don't know.
Well, we're going to find out.
Pay taxes.
Well, the whole issue is okay, you need so many healthy people to cover one's sick person. That's the basis of it. Say I'm going to cost my insurance company $50,000 this year. They need enough people paying in enough money plus mine to offset my $50,000.
Exactly.
Mind you, they can do other tricky things like investments and stuff like that, which is how some companies are able to pay out more than they take in because of investments and stuff and other ways to turn, $5,000 into $6,000.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, they have to get that money from somewhere, and their number one source of money is their clients. And it just blows me away. It blows me away how few people know, how few people actually realize how that works and the fact that for every sick person, they need so many healthy so many healthy people to counterbalance the cost.
Wait, so you mean to tell me that these insurance companies need money to take care of the sick?
Yeah, I know, right? It's not like it's like it's like they're not a scam. They raise their prices to cover what they have to be able to pay out.
What is this fascist capitalist bullshit? The insane idea that they need money to take care of people who need money to take care of their issues. How? I don't understand this. Please let me know how it works.
I did not expect fascist capitalist bullshit to come out of your mouth.
It might be because I'm being sarcastic, but I don't know if I am or not. You let me know if I am being sarcastic here, Jay.
I'll let you know as soon as I figure it out.
To that guy who made that stupid claim.
Please tell me, does it not rain magical money berries from the sky? You know.
Well, and then he decided that the government just needed to go ahead and cover it. Like the government has infinite resources, and I'm like, well, the government, they have to get their money from somewhere. Well, they're good at taxing people. That's right. So we've got to raise taxes by so much or borrow the money from somewhere else. And
well, there's actually two logical reasons to how the government could actually get money. It's either one, through taxes, as you mentioned, or two, borrowing money from someone else. But they
got to pay the money back.
We haven't yet, so.
Yeah. That's why I just don't like being into wait, is it, last I've checked, we're right around $20 trillion or almost around there.
Last I heard it was 19 trillion. So yeah, you're right. We're right about there.
Yeah, basically.
We need to worry about our deficit before we worry about anything about trying to add more costs like that. And that's where it comes in. And then it's like, well, on top of that, say that I'm going to cost the government now $50,000. They need to offset that cost. You're either going to pay X amount to insurance or you're going to pay X amount to the government. It's going to happen one way or another. The money has to come from somewhere. And then he thought that it would be a great idea to say, well, we don't need a military.
How can you say that? At this point in time in history, specifically within the history side of all this, how would not having a military make sense when currently the war is at war with the world is at war with itself? To a point where, as happened today, what happened today, a random act of terrorism. If you don't have the military to have some sort of, English is failing me right now. I think I might be a bit tired. But if you don't have an active military to counterbalance the idea of people invading your country or causing terrorist attacks or what have you, then what happens?
Exactly.
And here I was yelling this to you a few days ago.
Yeah.
And was there a rebuttal for that?
He tried, but it was so, for me it was so easy to just refuse. Because it's one of those, okay, of all of the countries without a military, I can think of one or two. Japan is one. Do you know why Japan can get away with having no military? Because as part of the treaty that says, hey, you can't have a military, we say, hey, Japan, if someone throws a rock at you, we'll throw a rock at them.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally in stone as our treaty that you can't have a military because you are dumb, but we'll make sure no one hurts you because you're dumb, you're special, and we need to baby you. We'll also pay you money because we did kind of irradiate you, and we're sorry.
Yeah, but throw some of your TVs our way because our Americans love that.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention the cars.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was only a Toyota Corolla that, turned my world upside down.
But
we were on a roll.
Just our entire country was founded on militarism.
Yes.
And it was established through militarism. Why in the world would there even be the slight possibility? Like I'm anti-war and all that. You know, I'm not going to go out toting the idea of throwing ourselves at every country who wants to invade us because every country is like just moderately militarized and all that jazz. You know, what have you. I'm not super pro-war. But then again, can't not have a way to defend yourself.
No. There's a difference between, like, okay, I don't like violence. I don't like hurting people. If I would really rather never get in a fight. I carry pepper spray and I own a taser. Why? Because as much as I'm going to tell you I don't want to hurt anyone, I don't want to get in a fight, I don't want someone to hurt me and I don't want someone to beat my ass.
I mean, look at some news that happened just this week in our in one of our local areas. We have an ex-coworker of ours who who got angry because of a woman, like girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, what have you, and he and another guy were fighting, and he shot a pellet gun and slashed at the guy with a sword. Essentially, you can't just go around unarmed if you're like just throwing like provocations left and right. It's unfortunate that in this day and age that everyone is so violent, and that even comes down to, you know, to a military level.
Yeah. Military, it's like, I'm not going to say that I think that we need to be doing, all the fighting in the world, but we do need to have a way to defend ourselves. We do need to have a way to do, fulfill what we need to do.
The entire discussion on that one topic was so silly. Out of the 3 that happened.
What?
What do you mean, what? You talked to our ex-coworker about 3 topics, one of which we haven't gotten to yet. But the military one was the one that had me up in arms.
Oh, I know.
You know, here I am trying, like, I probably sounded like a very authoritarian person in the middle of Walmart spouting about how we need a military. But it got under my skin really bad.
Uh-huh. There's a name I could call you just to offend you.
Go for it.
Don't be too cheesy. Adolf Hitler's already been overused.
No.
It sounds like you're stalling.
It does.
Thanks. I was going to make a reference to everyone should have the right to defend themselves. Yeah, everyone should have the left to defend themselves. I mean, the right to.
Everyone should have the right to defend themselves unless that person you're trying to defend yourself from is wielding a katana.
Well, okay. That person who got attacked with a katana, according to the news article, he's like, I didn't think it was a real sword. It was metal. Shut up.
I don't see. I don't know if should we talk about that real quick?
Well, I have at least a little bit to throw in on that, so sure we can. That was local news, but we can talk about that. I don't care.
Sure. Okay. Missouri man samurai sword. It's actually kind of funny. An argument over a woman. I'm trying to skip over all the potential, like, things where people can find us. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because people can't just search.
If they're interested enough, I don't think anyone is. Officers found the victim with a large gash on his right forearm, covered in bleeding the wound with a piece of clothing. The officers administered first aid until the victim could be taken to the hospital for treatment. According to the statements from the victim and witnesses, officers learned that the victim was attacked by her ex-coworker. The victim told police that he got into an altercation over a woman, at which point our coworker shot the victim with a pellet gun. When that didn't drive the victim off, our coworker allegedly retrieved a sword and attacked the victim again. And not only did this, this brought charges against him directly, but they also searched his house and found the pellet gun they used and 3 other edge weapons. And now he's in our local jail and is stuck in there until his court hearing. But
well, I mean,
if he can come up with $100,000 in money for a bond, cash only, he'll be able to at least get out. But upon making bond, the judge has ordered that he surrenders all weapons and have no contact with the victim.
I can say this much. And it's been my opinion since I found out about this, and it makes me laugh. Okay.
This picture is so sad.
This picture, I just figured I'd go ahead and show you the search and what it pulls up, just so that you might realize what yours, how.
Well, I know it's a doxing, but it's only if people are willing to look for it.
Okay.
I could go on ahead and say where we live if you want me to.
Okay, I don't technically live in city limits.
I do, and that's the problem. Keep going with your statement.
Attacking someone with a samurai sword, assaulting someone with a samurai sword results in this. You look like a nerd when you go to prison because, you attacked someone with a samurai sword. It wasn't even something cool.
Weed.
And the guy who got attacked gets to have a wicked scar and go, dude, look at my scar. I got attacked by a samurai sword. But if he'd known how to use it and had aimed to kill, he could, when in jail, going, I killed someone with a samurai sword. I'm a fucking ninja. It would actually have respect. And the guy who got attacked wouldn't be going around going, look at my scar. That's it's stupid, but that's also what the first thing I thought about was like, dude, what the fuck? You look like a nerd.
Well, let's be honest here. All the people in prison have to do is find a printout of this guy's mugshot. He looks so sad.
Almost like he's realized he's in for 10 years.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll go that far, really. Plead insanity.
Yeah.
Then you spend like a couple of months in a hospital, and then you're free. You attack someone else with the sword.
His name is John Cena. No, yeah, I got to be able to prove it. They can't just you can't just say, "Oh, I was insane," and then walk off.
Well, I guess you could just say you're insane and walk off.
This is my only reaction to that ninja dude.
What's that?
You didn't. Wait, you didn't heard it?
Not really.
Nah, I'll just send you a link real quickly. It's just only 4 seconds long.
Okay. Middle-aged drama. Hashtag middle-aged drama. Is that what your hashtag you're creating for this cast is this week?
Well, it's for the history of the day, so yeah.
Okay. But yeah. I mean, the plus side is though. I mean, I like samurai swords. Don't get me wrong, but for crying out loud, if you can't use one correctly, use something bigger like a two-handed or a bastard sword or something that has weight. I know that I've seen the argument. Maybe he wasn't trying to kill him, but then what's the point? You're going down for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. You're a freaking moron.
But see, maybe he actually went for the kill, but plot twist, the guy that he was attacking was a samurai.
Ha! Well,
Meaningful display.
I can tell you if it was me, I'd be like screaming, "Commit hurry now! How dare you? You're shit.
Harakiri?
You must go commit Sudoku."
That's so good.
I wouldn't want to do it because there's a reason why Dragon. Well, gosh. No, look on the bright side. If it wasn't for Sendoku, Dragon Ball Z would have never happened.
Wordplay. Wordplay, the Broadway musical.
This is some meta wordplay.
Yeah, I bet it metaton to you.
That was like a joke. Sans the joke.
Wow, you remind me of SpongeBob, but more annoying.
How the fudge do I sound like SpongeBob?
I'm glad I can have a nasally, annoying voice.
Oh, frick. I wasn't trying to do SpongeBob.
Well, I mean, no one tries to do SpongeBob. That's why he's a virgin.
Not by Patrick standards.
I don't want to know.
Let's just say you don't get that kind of laugh by gargling water. Anyway.
Ew. Ew. Ew.
I feel like I may have made this entire stream a little uncomfortable.
Just a little?
Look, you have to get white teeth somehow.
Well, I mean, yes. How do you think I keep mine white?
Oh, shit.
Well, I mean, I have to do that eventually.
Ah, Jesus.
Oh, shiz. I was just about to talk about the next topic. but now I have nothing to talk about.
Well, you can talk about it.
Well, actually, I do know what the... Ouch. The main topic that I was talking... Oh gosh, now my words are being rumbly jumbly all over again.
I definitely hear you twice. Jay, I think you're.
I know, that's how my ears are hurting.
1 second.
Get off your phone, Jay. I know exactly what the problem is.
Well, I have to step into the kitchen.
Now I hear laser.
Is that better?
Do I sound pretty? Also, no.
All right, 1 sec.
We'll just leave this in on the podcast. Open your heart to me.
I don't remember where I put things. I'm terrible at that. But I just looked at the time and realized I had to start doing something. And it's like, well, shit, I have to get up.
Actually, run this real quickly while you're fixing this. So the general news that, or the second news that I ended up finding was with actually booming pretty well here in America. Other than that, the movie industries are starting to moving back here from America, from China. Actually, no, and I wish I still had that news story, but now it's gone.
Oh, on that topic, when it comes to movies, last week we were talking about the potential of a Matrix reboot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's come out that it's not going to be a reboot.
Yay!
Yep, it's going to be its own Matrix universe movie.
Now I don't have to listen to people whine about it eventually.
Yeah, it's going to be in the same universe. It's going to still be Matrix, but it's going to, instead of being a reboot, it'll just be Matrix 4.
Sequel?
Well, a spin-off, sequel, prequel, it's going to take place in the universe as a different story. So it could be like Tremors 4, where it takes place in a whole different time, or it could be like so many different things. It's going to be same universe, but it could be in the past or in the future. Or even at the same time, but in a different area or a different thing.
Yeah, Matrixville, USA.
Matrix, Kansas.
Yeah, Matrix Cancer.
Not Pyro.
But well, it's very good news hearing that we're not going to have to deal with a potential new Matrix.
Yeah.
I was legitimately worried about that.
I kind of was too. There's a reason why, I brought it up last week, was because it's like, this is not something I want to know. This is not something I want to happen. And it was looking more and more and more like it was going to happen.
And now it's not.
Yes. And I am happy.
Yay to nothing happening.
Though we may be on the verge of a new fappening, but that's its whole other story.
Well, the fappening was something entirely in its own right. It's going to have to be called something else, like the pleasuring.
The pleasuring. The fuck?
The pleasuring.
I don't even know. I just don't even know.
Sorry.
You Canadian.
What are you going on?
Huh?
What are you going on about? Canadians?
You sneezed. I called you Canadian because you said sorry.
Well, shit. The next time I do that, I'm just gonna blow snot all over the microphone. So everyone gets that 100% in ear feel with my sneeze.
Cool. That's just how I like my sneezes.
In the ear.
In the ear.
Ugh.
I want to make sure I can hear it. Every last sound. Every last sound.
Well, seeing as you're getting ready to cook, should we wrap this up?
Well, probably. I was letting you guys finish because it was just one of those. I just realized the time because we started a little late. It's like, oh, people will be getting up.
You know, every podcast. Go on, R.
No, I've already finished what I said. You can go.
Not every podcast has to be an hour and a half long.
No, it doesn't. I just need to be able to start cooking by like 7:30, and it's after 7:30, so I need to start cooking.
Okay, well, then I guess let's wrap this up.
Okay. Okay. There's so much defeat in that.
So, thank you everybody for joining us on the Three Nerds podcast. My name is Lazrpo, and I guess I'm doing the intro for the day. You can find me at youtube.com/Lazrpo or on Twitter as Sticky Treason. That's sticky_TREASON. And I'll throw it at one of you guys.
I am ArticJay. You can find me on YouTube at ArticJay, or you can find me on Twitter at ArticJay. If you want to find me anywhere else, you can find most of the links to all of my other socials in my YouTube.
All right, listen up, everyone. If you don't actually go check out my shiz with the mouse I have right here, I'm gonna actually spin it so hard, and then once I actually do it, I'll throw it so hard at you if you don't go to my YouTube shiz. And I also have a
this time.
Twitter chiz that obviously you can check it out later because I'm too lazy to announcing mine. And I also have any other shiz, but as far if you don't do it, Mike.
I don't want to.
Anyways, yeah.
I don't want to commit to saying what my stuff is, but definitely do it or else.
You can find him by searching R-Gamer, but you can also find him by it's like Gene Carr or something like that.
Yeah.
Just what you got to do is go through to my Twitter, follow me on Twitter, then you go into the people I follow and scroll down until you find R-GamerDoesRandom and go, oh look, this person follows, you follow this person, okay, and hit follow back. There, I solved this.
Yeah,
I solved this by.
I also have a profile pic of giving anyone a threatening look or disgusted one to say it at that.
You should probably also follow Sticky Treason from there too, just so you know.
Yeah. Sticky Treason needs a follow. Sticky Treason needs a sub. I mean, it takes two of him to equal one of us.
You know that hurts sometimes.
Ouch. Life is tough, bro.
Yeah, I'll just start my own fact gaming channel and I'll have it set.
Okay, you do that. You do that. Trust me. Thumbs up. I would love the competition.
But anyway, I think we should wrap this up here. The funny thing is, though, you have control of the actual wrapping up part.
I know. I was just waiting for it to be ready. I'm actually back over at the laptop to hit the stop button.
Okay, then, everybody listening, if you enjoy what you're listening to, please like, comment, subscribe, throw it in your favorites, throw it in your inbox, throw it at your friends. Please share the videos. We don't do this for nobody, so we would totally dig the support.
Yeah.
So this is the Three Nerds podcast signing off. Eventually.
Yeah.